Rick, you copy? Anybody? Say it again.
Help! I need somebody help, not just anybody.
Who said help? The fan theory flames have been stoked once again in last Sunday's Walking Dead finale. I analyze a few of them a little later. And it was the kick heard round the world as the undefeated champion went down. Now, what does the future hold for Ronda Rousey? And we're getting new details about The Force Awakens. Find out what J.J. Abrams said about the new Death Star. And AMC's newest action thriller, Into the Badlands, premiered last Sunday. Does it live up to its expectations? We'll take a look.
Jessica Jones, you tossed a man twice your size across the bar with one hand.
And Jessica Jones premieres on Netflix this Friday. Will it get the following that its predecessor Daredevil did?
Why do you think the heavies invaded Earth?
And I stay home this week and watch a straight-to-DVD. I'll let you know if it was any good. All this and much more on this episode of EMoney's Reviews. New day here at EMoney's Reviews. A lot of fun stuff has been happening this week. As you can see, I have a brand new opening, and a little later in the show, I have a very special announcement. But enough about me, let's talk entertainment news. As we have all entered a fourth week of Glenn Watch 2015, a glimmer of new hope may have been sparked at the conclusion of last Sunday's episode of The Walking Dead. The internet was set abuzz as we were all left wondering who said help in a radio transmission to Daryl. Now, most are hoping that it's Glenn who has escaped from his fate at the hands of a horde of walkers after Nicholas shot himself. But some skeptics are saying that it's actually Dwight who is calling for help because he's run into trouble after stealing Daryl's bike. And still others are saying that it's actually Rick calling from Alexandria, whose situation over there has somehow gotten worse. When Entertainment Weekly asked Norman Reedus about the debate, he said, "I will say that voice is not Glenn, but it's probably somebody at Alexandria with all we know that's happening there." Well, I'm sorry, Norman, I choose not to believe you. But either way, AMC has successfully found a way to string us all along for another week or two. Small spoiler here, in the comic series, Dwight is actually one of Negan's gang, the Saviors, and when Dwight breaks one of their laws, Negan burns half of his face off with an iron. So could this be the same Dwight, and the people that he and his group were running from were the Saviors? A lot of the evidence adds up. Again, something AMC gets to string us along for. Speaking of AMC, at the conclusion of last Sunday's episode of The Walking Dead was the premiere of their newest action series, Into the Badlands. In this new series, set years in the future, guns have all been destroyed, fates are decided by the sword, and the land is ruled by 7 warlords known as barons. Now, normally any show set in a post-apocalyptic world gets my attention, and Into the Badlands was no exception. I love the idea of there being no guns, the feudal system that's been established, and the rivalry between the barons, which often results in bloodshed. It's like Game of Thrones, but with more martial arts. You can watch the series premiere of Into the Badlands streaming on AMC.com now, and the next episode premieres this Sunday. Another big story this week was the defeat of UFC champion Ronda Rousey. Rousey went into her fight with 12 wins and 0 losses against the also undefeated Holm. But after struggling through the first round, Rousey seemed out of her element, and in the second round, the former boxer and kickboxer Holm put her down with a kick to the head. After the fight, Rousey assured her fans that she was fine and that she would be back. Now, being no expert at MMA myself, My observations of what Rousey needs to do before her rematch are, she needs to work on her boxing, as Holm wouldn't allow herself to get tied up on the mat with Rousey, and she needs to work on her blocking. I mean, she was letting everything through in that match. But, with all that being said, I still want her to play Ms. Marvel. Speaking of Ms. Marvel, let's now transition into superheroes. This Friday is the premiere of Jessica Jones on Netflix. Now, some fans are concerned that Jessica Jones isn't going to get the following that Daredevil did because a lot of people don't know who Jessica Jones is. Well, first of all, it's got David Tennant in it. What more do you need? But if that doesn't satisfy you, you're dead to me. Here's a crash course on Jessica Jones before the premiere. Years ago, Jessica Jones was a street-level superhero in Hell's Kitchen and things were good. But when a demented criminal with mind control powers, Kilgrave, made her do terrible things against her will, she decided to hang up the tights. Now she attempts to reboot her life not as a superhero, but as a private investigator. Intrigued? Well, by now you should be. The full first season of Jessica Jones premieres on Netflix this Friday. Now on to another superheroine. We are getting new images of Red Tornado set to appear in an upcoming episode of Supergirl. And from what I can gather from these images, it looks like Supergirl is asked to test the limits of the government's newest weapon, the android known as Red Tornado. And from the look on Red Tornado's face, I'd say things get out of hand. This episode will also feature my old buddy Glenn Morshower as General Sam Lane, Lois Lane's military father. A very comfortable role for Morshower if you follow his career, as about 90% of his credits are of him playing a military officer or a federal agent of some kind. And we are getting our first trailer for the Flash Arrow crossover event, Heroes Join Forces. Take a look.
Everyone in there is willing to die to protect us. You don't think that's a little bit insane?
I think it's what makes them all heroes.
Now, Kendra!
It's really great to see everyone. I wish it wasn't just the dark times that brought us together.
The man you're looking for is Vandal Savage. Who is he? An immortal.
You're not gonna get rid of him.
Watch us.
Flash and Arrow, Heroes Join Forces, Tuesday, December 1st on the CW.
Alright, a lot of fun stuff going on there. I love how the Flash Arrow universe just keeps growing and growing. And whoever has creative control of the Flash Arrow universe also needs to be given control of the DC movie universe, as those guys clearly don't know what they're doing. Alright, that does it for superheroes. Now on to Star Wars news, and we're getting new details about the new Death Star in The Force Awakens. In case you missed that planet-sized object in The Force Awakens poster, J.J. Abrams confirmed that it is, in fact, the new Death Star, but with a new name. The base, called Starkiller Base, is far more advanced than its Death Star predecessor. Abrams said in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, what it's capable of, how it works, and what the threat is far greater than what the Death Star could have done. Starkiller Base is another step forward, technologically speaking, in terms of power. So what? It's capable of destroying a sun? Wiping out an entire solar system? Well, I guess we all get to find out for ourselves next month. Alright, that wraps up entertainment news. Well guys, this week it was slim pickings at the theater for new movies, so I decided to stay home and watch a movie on DVD. And that movie was the sci-fi action thriller Alien Outpost. In what is essentially an unofficial sequel to Battle Los Angeles, a group of soldiers investigate a strange series of events surrounding their undermanned and isolated base as the last remnants of a failed alien invasion 15 years ago attack them daily. Now, in this film, they take a lot of time for you to get to know the soldiers at the base and filling you in on what happened during the initial invasion. With that being said, I think they take a little too much time getting to the action, as there are only maybe 3 really good battle scenes in the entire film. But the battle at the very end almost makes the wait worth it. Still, I couldn't help but feel a little bored at some points. Alien Outpost is available on DVD and is streaming on Netflix now, and I give it 2.5 popcorns out of 4. Now on to this week's Movie-ism, and this is what I like to call bad guys aim. How many times have we had our heroes being shot at by the bad guys, and all they can seem to hit is air or the objects around them? I mean, do these guys even take shooting courses?
And these blast points, too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial stormtroopers are so precise.
What? Since when have stormtroopers been marksmen, Obi-Wan? I mean, for every wound you see on those Jawas, there's probably 1,000 other blaster marks in the ground or on the rocks.
Close the blast doors. Open the blast doors.
See? Can't hit anything. And in the entire Battle of Endor in Episode 6, a total of 1 Ewok died. And he died from the scout walker shooting the ground around him. See, the bad guys are dropping like flies, but they can't seem to hit anything. I mean, have you guys ever been able to hit your target with the first shot aiming like this? See, you've got walkers 10 feet in front of you against the gate. It should be fish in a barrel, but none of them are going down. Alright, now it's time for that very special announcement I promised you earlier. Guys, EMoney's Reviews is moving. That's right, I have been picked up by a network. In 2 weeks, I will be streaming from the Ville TV network. Now, what this means is you can still catch my show on YouTube, but you need to subscribe to the Ville TV Louisville in order to catch all of my future shows. So all of you guys watching on Facebook now, you need to hop onto YouTube. I'm really excited about this move, and I hope all you movie lovers will follow me to my new home. I will see you here one last time next week on EMoney's Reviews.